Hey guys, thanks for joining me this Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm gonna do as quick of a vlog as I can. I have to be back on set in like 20 minutes, so let's hope I can get through this pretty well. But being on set here, I was asking for thoughts about what I should talk about today, and almost everybody on set that I asked was saying that I should talk about tips on set. So I'm gonna do 2 actors tips, one of them today and another one for next Wednesday, talking a little bit more about on-set behavior. But today I'm gonna talk about the vocabulary that we use on set. So I have notes that I will be going over that I had asked people, verbiage that they didn't know when they started and all that good stuff. So let's get started. Hopefully this helps you guys. So when you're on set, different people might say different things and might expect you to know. Unfortunately, as much as I don't want to say this, there are dumb questions on set. So when you're talking to the director or one of the producers, really know what you're going to say before you start asking the question, or even ask the other actors. They can help you out as well, because we're all here as a team, but other people have other things on their minds. Like the director and the producer, they're more focused on the finished product. So when they're telling you to hit your mark, they expect you to know what hit your mark means. So one of the first ones that I'm going to talk about is hit your mark. Hitting your mark basically means go where they tell you to go. So if, let's say, for instance, a director or somebody in the crew, mainly director or producer, tells you, okay, you're going to go ahead and you're going to stand right here, then that's fantastic. So when they say, okay, go ahead and hit your mark, you're going to go right where they said to stand. Sometimes they put an X, sometimes they don't. They just might say, right there under that sign, that's your mark. So go ahead and hit your mark, and you have to know where to go. So that's one. Another one would be sides. If you don't know what sides are, that's okay, I guess, but you get sides usually on auditions and for sure when you're actually doing a project. Sides are basically your lines, scenes that you do, basically what that is. Cheat to camera is a big one. So cheating to camera is important because it's all about what the cameraman sees, right? So if I'm talking to somebody, for instance, if somebody's right here next to me, I would be talking like this. This is exactly what it looks like. You see my complete profile. When they say cheat to camera, that means that it feels uncomfortable for you, but this would be cheating to camera. So I'm still talking to the person over here, but instead of my face being turned this way, it's kind of turned towards the camera so that way you guys can see me. So instead of you seeing this on the camera, you're seeing this, and it just makes it better. So they might say, okay, put your hair behind your ears so we can see your face. Okay, and cheat to camera. So here you go. And you still talk to the person, but your face is just a little bit more turned, if that makes sense. And that might be your body, whatever they tell you. Have your body cheat to camera. Oh, okay. So basically, instead of you being turned like this, you would be like this and still talking to people the way you would. Opening up your body to the camera, basically. So that's that. Another one is beats. When they say, go ahead and take a beat. Take a beat means take a second. So if the line is, haha, you're so funny. Anyways, let's go get a burger. And they say, go ahead and just take a beat before you say, anyways, let's go get a burger. Okay, so it would be, haha, you're so funny. Let's go get a burger. So you could take a beat, if that makes any sense to you. If not, send an email. I'll help you out. Camera left and camera right. So camera left and camera right, the way that you can think of it, because it's not always what's opposite of you. Imagine the person behind the camera. The person behind the camera, if this is the camera and I'm looking through the camera and I'm telling you, I want you to go camera left, I'm saying my left because I'm right behind the camera. So that would mean whatever is for you. That might be opposite or what have you. So try and see where your camera is and remember camera left, camera right. So that way, if they ask you for that, you don't get shocked with it. Call sheet. So a call sheet is what they give the crew before the shoot. And it has times of how long each scene should take, maybe even what wardrobe you're gonna have how long you have to get into hair and makeup, into wardrobe, your name, other talent's name, the makeup artist's name, everybody on the crew's name. The call sheet is basically everything having to do with the production, basically. Call time will be on the call sheet. A call time is when you show up. So if they say you need to be here at 8 o'clock is your call time, then try and be there like at 7:30, 7:45, just because they'll appreciate it. But really 8 o'clock is when you need to be there. That's your call time. Check the gate. So check the gate is more of a production term, because it's basically them, like they might tell you, okay guys, cut, we're just gonna go ahead and check the gate. Give us a moment. And you're like, what is that? Check the gate is they're gonna check the camera to make sure that no hairs got in there or no fuzzies, like in the actual camera lens. So that's what check the gate means. Continuity is very important. Everybody's very big on continuity because it helps with editing. Continuity is, okay, let's say for instance, if I was editing this video, this whole time I have looked like this. I do this in one take, so that's a little different, but let's say I was editing it. Well, if my hair is always like this and my purse is like this, if I come back on with you guys and I'm like, hey guys, okay, so good seeing you, that's not good continuity, because the continuity is my hair was on this side. So now that we're editing it, all of a sudden you're gonna see hair over here, and that's not gonna look good for editing. So that's basically what the continuity is. So it's very particular. If I started with this much hair and now I have this much hair, and then I come back to this, they need to make sure that it's the same for editing purposes. So that's what continuity is. It might even be a soda in the background. It could be anything. Very important. And then also takes. I didn't even have that written down, but takes. How many takes you're having? A take is from start to finish. One take. From when they say action till when they say cut, that's one take. And you can have how many ever those you need. So hopefully not a million. So next would be stand-in. Stand-in is, say for instance, I'm in hair and makeup and they say, hey, can you stand in for Alisha? Just come sit down. They just want to check the lighting, make sure that everything's good. So that way they can go on with everything and be ready for me when I come out of hair and makeup. So that's what stand-in is. Sorry if I'm going really fast. Send an email, pause it, restart it, do whatever you got to do, but this is terminology that you should know. So take a note, take notes. Again, email me if you have questions and I'll help you out. Watching playback. So when they cut, sometimes they'll say, give us a second, we're watching playback. What that means is they're watching the take that you just did, just to make sure that everything is correct, continuity is good, everything looks good, and we can move on to the next shot. Or we might need different camera angles. So it would be the same exact thing, you doing it over and over again, but with a camera over here, or with a camera right here, or with a camera back here, or with a camera over here. And you're just doing the same thing just to get different viewpoints of the camera. Eyeline. So for instance, yesterday, they wanted to come into my eyeline. Eyeline is right here. So they might say, okay, Alisha, this cup is in your eyeline. So if I'm looking here, that's not where my eyeline is. My eyeline should be here. So even though the person I'm talking to is over here, I need to talk to this person. So when they say, this is your eyeline, this is where I'm looking. So once the cup goes away, I'm still looking there, and this is where I'm having my conversation, because that's where the camera needs me to look, if that makes sense. From the top, that means just do it again. Start over again. Start from the beginning. Back to one is pretty much the same thing, but it means like go back to your first mark. So if you were starting here, go back to one. Location is where you're going to be. Location is important because like right now, we just went to another location. They were like, we're going to go to our second location. The heck is that? Well, if you look on your call sheet, you'll be able to see where the second location is. That's how I found where we're at. So that's that. Close-up. Okay, so there's different shots. Close-up shot, mid shot, wide shot. Basically, a close-up shot would be like this, but it just kind of depends. It depends on your cameraman, and it's important to ask where your frame is. A frame is this square is your frame. That is your frame. And the reason why you want to know that is because if I'm having a conversation with somebody and the cameraman tells me, okay, we're in a close-up, so this is your close-up, and this is your frame. This is all you got. And I'm like, okay, so cheat to camera and talk to the person next to you. Okay, and then you're like, oh my gosh, well, I'm completely out of frame right here. So I need to know that if this is my frame, the furthest I can go is, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So that's important to know. So this is usually close up. It could be even closer. It could be like this. It could be like this. It depends on what they're trying to do. If they're trying to get emotion and have something, or if they're trying, whatever. It just depends, but it could be right here. And then mid shot is usually up to, I don't know, like there, usually something like that. That's mid shot. And then wide is like, you see everything. Speed, rolling, action. You don't go until they say action. So speed is just saying like sound, they're making sure that sounds good. Okay, rolling, the camera's rolling, and action. And that's when you start going. Usually when they say action, you want to take a beat or two just to give them a little bit of time, but that's what that means. That's a wrap. A wrap means that's it. Done. Everything's done. Go home, have a good day. That's what that means. Wardrobe is where you go to get your clothes and where you get to do your hair and makeup. So when they say go to wardrobe, that's where you're going and that's what you're doing. Craft services is who feeds you. So sometimes they have great craft services, sometimes they don't. So I'm going to have some tips for next week on set behavior that will help with that. You don't want to eat in your wardrobe. One tip. I did ask some actors what would be something that you'd want to tell people that maybe haven't been on a set or have been on a set and are just kind of learning about this. So one of the things that they said was, I wish that I would have known to keep my nose out of the camera. Like basically every time you take a take, when you do a take and they finish it and they're like, all right, cut. You're like, how do I do? Well, you don't want to do that because A, it's not about you. It's about the production looking at the camera, and you can't be getting in their way. It's their production. They'll tell you if something's wrong. And sometimes you want to see yourself, but oh well, you can't. Unless they tell you, hey, do you want to check yourself out? Then fine, but if they don't, stay back. Another thing one of my on-screen husband said today is don't criticize the way you look. So if you're looking at a playback of yourself and you're like, oh, gosh, I hate my hair, they're going to be like, okay, it's not about that. It looks really good. You know, it's unprofessional, so don't do it. Last thing is you need to hold back your opinion. So if they're trying to figure out like, okay, so camera, I think it would look good if we do this. Maybe not. If we do this, and then you say, actually, if you do the camera from here, I think that would look really good. Thank you for being helpful, but nobody asked you. You're an actor. Sit down and wait for your cue. And your cue is what they tell you to do. Action. Hold your mark and all that stuff. Hold your mark is staying in the spot that you're supposed to be, but get to your mark or go back to one. That's what you're waiting on, your cue. You're not waiting on help, or you're not helping them. There's no reason for your opinion, so keep it to yourself. But I think that's everything. I think that's everything that I wrote, guys. So I hope that helped y'all out. I know I wish I knew some of this stuff before I got on my first set. I know that a lot of you guys have been on set several times before. Maybe you've heard all these terms, maybe you haven't. If there are other terms that I forgot to talk about, please let me know, because I think everybody would like to be on the same page. It helps all of us out for our future. So, yeah, my makeup is done today. It's very nice. She did a very, 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 very good job, Lisa. She's here in Houston. I'm going to have her link on here in a little while. But this has been a very fun shoot. Met some pretty great people. And I'm going to be interviewing Lisa, me and Stephanie, in a few weeks. And another girl that I met on set. Networking is huge. It's very good to talk to people and just be friends. You're going to see them on set several times, so it's good to have that relationship. Yeah, I think that's everything, guys. Have a great Wednesday, and maybe I'll talk to y'all again on my ride home. So, bye. Have a good one. Mwah!